Hey guys, it's M4J here and welcome back to the Jeffries network here on OpenTTD. Now last episode we completely rebuilt the Gardcity North freight terminal pretty much from the ground up, and as I said at the end of last episode, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I think I will just cut along there so we can have some town growth here and hopefully have some buildings spring up along this road as well. And that's part of it really. Part of the rebuild was to get the freight terminal a little bit neater and tidier, because there was some stuff that I really wasn't happy with about the old one. How it was... It's weird because we built the freight terminal first and then we built the main lines either side of it, but it really felt like towards the end that the main lines were cramping the freight terminal. So I'm quite pleased that we managed to reconfigure all of this. Now I have noticed that we had an issue. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yeah. So if trains came out of the depot here into here to fill up with goods or food or manufacturing supplies, whatever it might be, they then couldn't run out and down this way to run out. I can sort of fix that by putting a line across like that. The downside to doing that is I can only still then access it from two lines, although I suppose if I cut that then I can do this, and if I get rid of that, that fixes the problem. Probably not the best way of doing it, but it's a way of doing it. And if I put a signal there, and then if I put a signal there, that's the inroad. Now the other solution, of course, was completely rebuild all of this so that this line here will just come out and across. And the reason I could do that is if I have this line as the in still, this one doesn't have to be the in, because there's an in here, and they can run across here, around the loop, and then back, and then into these platforms. That was an option. I think in some areas here I have gone a little overkill with the layout, perhaps a little bit, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Main thing is we've got this built and it functions reasonably well. Now today, in this episode, today being Monday, we're going to focus on the southern terminal, which I've already earmarked a spot for. We're going to build it here. And the reason this is a really good piece of land for it is we've got the two freight lines, or the two through lines here out of Denton. So we've got access via all of this, and then up along here. We can technically go through Gardcity if we want to, and across what's it called? Across Guard Lake, that's the one. I've got the name of the station then, that's not very good. That's not the reason though. The reason is we've got this line here which heads down towards Buntbourne, and we got this line here that heads down towards Cadingbury. So that's the east and the west that we unlock by building it down here. We've also got a waterway, which is quite nice. It's always nice to have a waterway. I am planning on building this as a river, connecting it to this lake, and then maybe even connecting it over to this lake, and basically like down here as well, building a waterway that we can have ships operate in. So there's that. There's also the fact that if trains come out here, turn north, come through here, I'm going to redo these platforms. We're probably going to cut out the middle platforms here actually. Follow this line down, and then if I build this now so I don't forget, right here, pretty much, that's going to come out, and it's going to come down like this. I've got to make sure it lines up actually. So that's going to come out like this and like this. If I switch to third rail really quickly, you might notice some new track types that we've got as well. I'll talk you through those in a future video, because there's some really cool new track types that I'm looking forward to using, including Transrapid, which is essentially maglev. So we're going to be operating a maglev network very shortly on this this map. which I think is really cool. I'm looking forward to doing that. Right, and if we have a little curve here to avoid the water, and then you're going to go along like that, and you're going to go along like that, and then here, back, and here, forward. Convert that to a path signal, convert that, also convert that one, and then here convert that one, and then get rid of that signal and that signal. Okay, from here you can then go along here. You have to go through Kingston, which is a bit of a pain, but then you access the freight loop, and that's going to be very important for later on in this particular episode. In the meantime though, we're going to start construction work on this. So we're going to get rid of all of these existing industries, which would be quite handy to have here, but at the moment they're in the way. So I'm going to rebuild them at a later date. We're also going to convert this into an actual waterway, which is pretty much going to cut straight through the center of all of this land, like that. Okay, so the freight terminal is going to be built on the banks of this shore. The way I'm going to do it is, let's see. So we only really need one in and one out. This could be difficult because we're going to have. Hang on, let me get my head around this. So there's going to be 2 ins on each side and 2 outs on each side, plus at least 1 loop on each side. So let's say that is where one platform's going to go. And if we do this all the way along, this is going to be built slightly differently to the north terminal as well, in that that's a through section. So I might as well put the waypoints there now so I don't forget. And then these are going to come down like this. These are going to come down like this. We're also going to have that come across like that and like that. And then these are all going to connect up like so. And I think we get our 2 ins and our 2 outs from that. The only thing we don't get from that is our loops. But if we extend that and extend that, that should be our loops as well. I think that will work. I'm not sure I like this. The secret, I think, would be to go over and look at Moningpool Falls, but that's a long way to go. Just to have a look at something that probably I can do anyway. Let's take all this back and start again. So that's 10. Right. Do I want them to be unidirectional or bidirectional, these lines? It very much depends on what we're going to be. Let's actually move this over to here, like that. And then let's say, again, I think goods is going to be one of the biggest things we're going to be conveying here. So let's have, that's supposed to be like that. And that's supposed to be that, I assume? You Trenwell East? Yeah. I'm going to rename you now. Gardcity South Freight Terminal. Okay. So that's all goods. And then you're going to jump across to there. You're going to jump across to there, like this. And then at the same time, you're going to jump up to here, and you are going to jump up to here. Kind of like that. And then we're going to have raw materials, coal, which is a big part of what we're going to be doing. It's going to go there. And livestock. You're not part of the station, are you? Let's try that again, shall we? Press and hold control. There we go. And livestock, I think we'll have here. It's probably a big mistake putting it there, but there you go. And then we'll have lumber or wood on this side, like that. Any more raw ones here? I think we're okay for that. So processed, we're going to have timber on this side here, and then we're going to have copper here, and barrels here, like that. And then you're going to come through like this. You're going to be all done like this. Whoops, there we go. Connect all these up. Like that. And then do this across and this across. Now these are all going to be one-way tracks, pretty much. Like that, and then all of these are going to be one way. To there, yep. And then all of these are going to be one way. Like so. The idea then is, if you're, depending on what side you come in from, you'll either go straight into the platform, or you will go through the center tracks and around the loop. And the loop is going to be on the far edge there to the far edge here, but there's also going to be a center loop which is going to operate from here to here. So like this. And then these are both going to be out roads, one to the north, one to the south. Let's worry about that in a second. Inroads from... Can I draw that all the way across? I can't. So there we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to come across like that. You are going to come right the way down. Not there. Like that. Why doesn't this feel right? Hang on. Okay, so we're a little bit limited in how this can function. A little bit. The solution, of course, is to do this and this. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. And then we'll have to replicate that somehow. Goodness knows how. Right. 1, 2, get rid of that. Actually, it's extend this out another one. So that's one loop. That's the inner loop, where speed limits are going to be really strict. And then the outer loop, speed limits are going to be a little bit more relaxed. I think we could fit an extra train in as well. Okay. Bridge over. Bridge over. Bridge over. And bridge over. So these are both out tracks. One will curve up to the north and will connect up just after this signal here. Like that. That industry is in the way, so I'm going to have to bulldoze it, I'm afraid. So many industries and so many houses and everything that I've just come through and completely bulldozed. Oh well, life goes on. Right, and then here like this, and you're going to come over here, and that's going to be the one to the south. Let me build these lines back in before I forget. That will do. Okay. Now for the inlines, we're going to have one come off here. I feel like it needs to come out one more than that actually. So if I do this, under like that. Here like that, and then like that, and then this one will just come along like this and in like so. Reasonably happy with that. Again, we'll do little hopovers. I don't like doing bridges like that, I think they're really ugly, but it gets the job done, so it'll do for now. So that's that side done. The other side is going to be pretty much identical, except we're going to have a bridge over the water to worry about as well, which is going to be fantastic. Right, that comes across like this. Does this need to come across like that? I suppose not, because if it's going to use the loop, it's going to use that loop. The only thing it does need to do is from here, we need to get across to at least this track to go out. Which maybe I can do in installments instead, like this and like that. Make that junction look a bit neater. Same here, coming in. There and there, like that. Alright, what's the gap here? 6. Okay, and then this is 4. So then over here it's 6 and 4, and that goes around the back like that and connects up. And then the one in the middle, it's also 6 by the looks of things. Oh, it looks like, yeah, it's also 6, which is level with the center road here. 6 and 6, and then you run down until you're level, like so, and then you connect up. Okay. This runs over as far as there, which means this one runs over as far as there. These connect up like that. These connect up like that. This one here goes right the way across. This one here goes right the way across. Does it go to the loop? No, it doesn't. I think that's all of those ones done. And then here it's like that and like that. And then here it's like that and like that. Yeah. And then we can build these out. So you go up and over like this and like this. And then these ones go up and over like that and like that. And then you go across here. Again, we'll just use a truss, nice and simple. Okay, then we'll connect these two bits together. Alright, we'll do the easy links first, and then we'll do the difficult ones. So the easy one is here, where you're going to run along like this, along like this, and if I drag this one along here, I know we've got this river in, but I'm going to demolish it temporarily, lower this down, including all of that. Do it properly, shall we? There we go. Here it's going to come across like this. Cut this back. Build a bridge going over like that. In fact, if I take that back as well, you're going to come along like so. Okay, and then this side, I'm going to utilize the bridge that already exists here. Cut this river back completely, and then have this run along like so to there. So you're going to run in. That's a perfect alignment. That is almost like I planned it. So almost. If only I had. Anyway, up like that, and then you are going to connect there. They're the easy ones. Now we've got to do the not so easy ones, which I think might also involve using this bridge again, because I think if we do this, connect you up like that, and then on this side of the bridge, if we build that out like so, kind of like this, tunnel, connect you up like that, and then connect this up like this, and then have this just little section here under the bridge being bidirectional. That would work out quite well. And then here, have you slope down along and connect up there, and there we go. The north and south ends connected. Now we can signal them. And this is where we find out it's all gone wrong. Take that one away. Do I have room for 2 signals here? I don't think I do, to be honest. So take that one away as well. Same here, don't have room, take that one away. Take that one away. And then here, signal across here, signal across. Take that one away. Take that one away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So actually, yeah, that one was fine. Which also means I can do that one. And then I can get rid of that one. Right, signal there and there, which means we could do this instead of that. Have that go across. Quite happy with that. We won't worry about it on this side. Do these ones now. So you'll go along. You'll go along. You'll go. In fact, I don't want to. Actually, we can do 2 signals there, can't we? I think I said that at the time. We'll have 2 trains stored in the loop here. That's 2, not 3. This track needs to come across. Yeah, knew I was missing something from that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's loads of path signals that we need to put in. That one, for example. That one. That one. That one. That one. And then over here, that one, and that one. And then up here, that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, cut that, and then upgrade that one, and that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. So a lot of signals, but freight terminal's done and signaled. The only thing we haven't added in is depots here, which I'm not sure we'll need, to be honest. I think the trains will be running from elsewhere to here. I think that will be the case. What we can put in is, I need to remind myself what goes where. So let's redo. So your coal, so we'll put coal platforms right next to you. Wood was in here, I think. Oops. Duh. There we go. Right, hang on. Coal, livestock, wood, and then we'll put lumber next to wood, because that makes sense. Like that. And then we'll have general cargo in all of here. And then we'll have barrels here. And we'll have metal of copper and steel there. So again, we'll have steel, copper, a big area for barrels. What was this one again? Lumber. Timber, sorry, not lumber. Like that. We'll also put some... where's the oil drum gone? That's raw, isn't it? Yeah. We'll put some like that. We'll put them within the confines of the station like that. This is all general goods here, so we'll put in the center here, we'll put all cars. So again, I can see that filling up. And then we'll put containers up here, along like that, as well as some cranes in the center. like that. And then general cargo we'll put over here, kind of like that. And then on this side, in the center, we will have wood, maybe? More wood. So I'd like to get a big lumber trade going at some point. And we'll also have things like paper. Actually, paper? No, not paper. Maybe paper. Too, I'd like to have fruit as well. So I have fruit there, and then we'll have paper along here. Kind of like that. I'm quite happy with that. The loops are quite small, but really the loops aren't in real life freight terminals. I was going to use freight terminals like Daventry as a basis for this. The reason I didn't in the end was because I know I'm just going to get frustrated looking at them and thinking, well, they've got you know, run-round facilities, whereas we can't do that in this game. So I know that would annoy the hell out of me. So instead, we have turning loops. Now I'm going to put some stuff here, like cranes running on tracks, and just some empty tiles perhaps. Because we are going to have, as I said, the ships docking on this side. You might think it makes more sense to have them dock on the other side, but no. Simple answer, no. I think it'd be easier to use this existing lake. I'm thinking if I do that, there's no corners on this, which I always find really frustrating. We could do that. We don't have a fence, or we do have a fence. We have that as a fence. Don't know how that works though. Oh, it does. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Alright, we're then going to have all of this fenced in. Is there a line going, track going through the fence? That's road. Does it come under... Am I missing something? I suppose we don't really want it to anyway, because it'll ruin the illusion slightly. We could do this, and then we can do this, and then we'll do this, and then here we'll do this, and we'll do this. So it's all nicely fenced in. And then we'll fill this bit in as well. And we can always make this bit a bit wider. So that means we could put other stuff in the centre here if we really want to. The only thing that's a little annoying is we couldn't... I suppose we could. If I lifted up the land here. Like that. And then we can indeed fence all this off as well. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll build the road across there still. Maybe build a bridge. If I did that. And then we could build a road bridge across there. Alright. So that's me messing around. Building this freight terminal. I'm quite happy with that. I might go back to the north one actually and add those fences in. Just to separate it. Although it is completely surrounded by rail. So maybe that's not 100% necessary. Now I've got to remind myself where everything is again. Oh god, what was this side? This is oil. I know that. General cargo was all of this. So I know that. Just thinking, how am I going to remind myself? So I'm going to do all the signalling and stuff off camera. To be honest, there's not much left we need to do around here. So the other things I'm going to show you. So I've built the one south of Denton. I'm going to show you where the other two freight terminals are going to go, and then I'm going to quickly explain how these freight terminals are going to function, and then this will be an episode as well. There's a big blot on the landscape from there, actually. Okay, so the next one we're going to build is south of Slet Hill, which is on the North Valleys and Great Northern lines. So if I find, there's Slet Hill. And the reason I've chosen this location is because this is about as close as the two lines are going to get. So this is the Great Northern line and this is the North Valleys line here. As you can see, they run right next to each other. So I think the terminal itself might end up being built down here, but it will be accessed from both main lines. The reason it has to be accessed from both, particularly, I don't think we're going to have any freight trains running east on the North Valleys line here, because when you get to Beffing Way, there's no way for them to get through and across without going through platforms and getting in the way of other trains. So I think there it will be it'll be accessed from the west on the North Valleys line, but then from the east it will only be accessed from the Great Northern line. Now we have got the issue of the number of hills that are here, which could be a problem, particularly at Warnbridge. My solution for that is to build a diversionary line, because it's also quite windy here as well. Build a diversionary line straight across to over here, and that pretty much completely diverts away from all of the hills over here at Warnbridge, which freight trains are particularly going to struggle with. So that's one. So I've planned that site, and the other site is south of Denton, or southeast of Denton. So if I come all the way down here to Denton, southeast, it's going to be over here near the high speed. And the reason it's going to be near the high speed is because we have those cargo EMUs that can travel at, is it 180 miles an hour or something? Let me find one of them. These things. In fact, they go quite fast as well. I think they're maglev. Cargo EMUs go 187 miles per hour. They can carry things like chemicals, building materials, engineering supplies, farm supplies, things like that. So it might be handy to actually have these shooting up and down, particularly carrying goods and food, and connect with a freight terminal here. So they'll come off of the high-speed line north and south of this big bridge, and they will run along here into a separate terminal that connects to the main terminal. And that'll be why this is built here. I quite like that idea. But again, we're going to worry about that in a future episode. Whilst we're over here, actually, I remodeled station over here using some of the new GRFs that I got. So Drentborn looks a little bit different now. I quite like it. I think it's quite smart. I got loads of new GRFs. You might have noticed last episode and this episode. From here down, this is all new. So this is part of new stations, I think this one's called, small and medium. I'm not that happy with these, mainly because like these two I can't access at all, which is quite annoying. The non-track tiles are quite nice. I do like them. The graphics are a bit strange. They don't really add up with the rest of them, which again, that might just be me being picky. The general use freight stations, there's absolutely nothing here, really. There's a buffer stop and then there's that. So I'm not sure what that's all about. And then you've got this, which is... it's quite nice, I suppose. It's quite nice. Locomotive depot, it's a roundhouse essentially, so it's a bit like the one we've got over at Gardcity anyway. Modern stations, now this one I do like, and I'm looking forward to putting this in. So what you do is you drag this out by 8 and you get that shape. So this is Raccoon City. If anyone's played Resident Evil, you will know what Raccoon City is. And then what you do is you drag this out by the same, and then it builds the station. I think that looks really cool. There's also one for Berlin, Hauptbahnhof, which I was actually doing some research on because I had it in the back of my mind. Someone told me recently about, I think it was about Berlin Central Station, that they have a river that runs through the middle of it. There's definitely a station where there's tracks above and tracks below, and then there's a waterway that runs through the middle. Someone please confirm whether that was Berlin or not. But when I was doing some research, because I knew that Berlin had a north and south meets an east to west line, and then I know about the Ringbahn and the Stadtbahn and all the other circular routes. So I just sort of on a whim looked up what the station was like. It's actually really, really clever how they've done it with the underground and the overground and all of that linked together. It's really, really nice. So I'm quite happy that I can actually build it in the game. Where was it? Here. So again, you do the same thing. You drag this out. Let me find a nice bit of flat land to show you. Drag this out by 8. Was it 8? I think it might be 6 actually. Hang on. That doesn't look right. Maybe I'll build the station first, and then you can see. So you do 4 by 6, like that. Is it like this? Okay. Why is it not letting me do it now? Oh, there we go. Yeah, and then you do the other one on this side. And there you go. Berlin Hauptbahnhof. What it does say is... was it like that? I think it was like that. You build these... Oh, no. I remember what it was. Yeah, I remember what it was. Get rid of that one again and get rid of this one again. What you do is you build this on a level 1 down. So let's just fix that land. Fix that land. Yeah, so you grab this and you build it 1 down from the main station, and then the towers line up perfectly. That's what I really like about Berlin Central Station, is they built these platforms were already like the the Stadtbahn that runs from north to south, no, east to west, sorry, already existed. They built the station over that, and then after the station was built, they then built these office blocks over the top, and these bits here, these bridge sections, nothing like that had ever been built before until they did it in Berlin. It's really, really clever how they did it. If you want to know how they did it, look it up online. It's really good. It's another one that it took quite a long time to build, but it really seems worth it. It's a very nice station. I think, when I was doing reading on it, I think it said it was the biggest in Europe. But that doesn't sound right to me. Let me check that. It was on Wikipedia. Yeah, it says it's the largest train station in Europe. I'm assuming that's in terms of square footage, because it's not the largest in Europe when you take into account platform numbers. Because there's only 18 platforms. So 1 to 8 are underground. They're laid out north to south. And then you've got 9 to 10 which are for a Stadtbahn line. And then you've got 11 to 14 which are above ground for mainline services. And then you've got 15 and 16 next to them, which is also on the S-Bahn. And then you've got 2 more underground which are for a U-Bahn line. So that's only 18 platforms. Now Waterloo has 25, I think, or it will do when it's finished. Euston has 16, I think. Victoria has something like that as well. Paddington has 16. So it's certainly not the biggest in terms of platform numbers. The only thing I can think of is it's built over 5 levels. So it must be to do with square footage and number of floors and things like that. Anyway, totally unrelated to today's episode. So I think the freight terminal is going to be built. Where were we? Over here, on this big flat piece of land. I think it's going to be quite big. The reason it's going to be quite big is because, let's head over to Moddingpool Falls, because this is a really good example for this. So the way the freight system is now going to work is through sectorization, which is what I said in the last episode. So anything between Moddingpool Falls here and the north corner of the map, including sort of this area. So there's a coal mine here. There's a farm. Where's the farm? Is it this side? It must be. Yeah, here. They're all going to run to Moddingpool Falls Freight Terminal. They're going to unload. They're then going to turn around the loop, and they're going to head back to where they came from. Likewise, trains from the south up as far as Plindon, he says, yeah, around about Plindon, and some that are using this line here, which was originally a freight-only line. They'll come down through Plindon and then head back up towards Moddingpool Falls, and they'll stop here. We'll then have other trains from Moddingpool Falls Freight Terminal that will then head down this way and there to Plindon, and then up the main line here into Gardcity, and then they will either branch north or south. They'll either go to the north terminal, unload, reload, and head back, or they'll head to the south terminal, unload, reload, and head back. And it's going to be a case of one piece of freight, like one coal truck, shall we say, might have to go through 2 or 3 different trains to get to its final destination, which might sound a bit counterproductive, but the idea is it's to reduce the number of trains on the network as a whole. We'll have more individual services, but we should have less trains. The reason I'm doing this is we're going to have 8 tile long trains, but they're not necessarily all going to carry the same thing. So we're not going to have 8 tiles of coal. We might have 4 tiles of coal, 4 tiles of wood, let's say. They'll go from Moddingpool Falls to here. And then it will unload here. It might be refitted, so they'll be carrying different items back. Whatever is necessary. I kind of wish, I don't know if it's possible actually. Let's just build a train with, I don't know, that. It's not the fastest. We're probably not going to, well, we're definitely not going to send this one out. And let's get some, so what can this carry? Bauxite, clay, coal, iron, ore and sand. Yeah, let's get this. So we'll make that 8 tiles, and then we'll go to here. Now, can I refit? No. Alright, let's find a cargo that I can, whoops, auto refit with. I need to find a vehicle that allows refitting. How do I find that? You carry passengers? What? That doesn't sound right. Boxcar, please tell me you allow refitting. How do I know? How do I know it can be auto refit? Nope. What I want to find out basically is, can I ask it to auto refit into something that's waiting? Like, just know what to auto refit to, or do I have to manually do it each time? That won't let me do it either. Wrong thing again. I just want something that I can auto refit. Sure it tells me. I'm sure it tells me. Coil. Aha! Right. Available or fixed. So I just do available. Okay. Can I then do that without it loading? No. I didn't think so, because that sounds stupid. Let's say available cargo. Does this do it as well? So I need to find a series of wagons where I can auto refit. Yeah, that one does it too. And we'll just say available. Okay. Cool, that answers that question. So I might be able to do it automatically. So it will automatically run from station to station, constantly refitting, depending on what's available, and then carry it off to the next station. That makes my life a lot easier. And then yeah, from these terminals, we will then also have trains. So actually, we do have another freight terminal, kind of, don't we? We have the one up here, which is an industry one. It's an industrial park. So we will have then trains loading up at Gardcity North that will then run up to here, unload. We'll also have trains from other freight terminals. So the one over this way will also be running over to here, unloading. And then again, we might have it refit and take other cargo to other places. But it's as I say, it's to try and reduce the number of overall freight trains on the track, because that's one of the biggest concerns that I had, was we had too many freight trains that were just running havoc. Let's get rid of all them. I mean, these freight trains, collapse all these. Metal trains, we just got rid of them. The milk trains, we need to get rid of these. What have you done to that? That's weird. Don't like that. Recyclables, need to get rid of you. Scrap metal. I mean, you get the idea. We're getting rid of all of the trains. We're going to start pretty much from scratch. Chemical, they're all gone. Coal, again, that's a bit problematic. Something else which I've now got as well is a real narrow gauge type line. So we've got these little shunter type trains that are loading up coal from that other coal mine. We've now got narrow gauge tracks that I can use as well, which I will probably be rolling out, not just for, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do, not just for coal, but for other industries. Iron ore would be a really good one. If there's a couple of iron ore mines relatively close together, I'll be doing that. Speaking of iron ore, there's one. Get rid of that. Livestock, there's loads of livestock trains all over this place. And this lot. Okay. And we'll collapse all them. Right. So yeah, that's pretty much how the freight system's going to work now on this map. Hopefully I've explained it quite well, and hopefully it works, because I'm a little bit worried, particularly with ones like this, I'm a little bit worried that it's not going to fully work. I might have to do a little bit more research on how BL used to do it, and then also do some research on the limitations of this game, to see if what I actually want to do is in fact possible, because it'll be a bit of a headache if it turns out not to be. But that will do for this episode. So I've recorded 2 in one go, which is good. That gives me some free time. With that free time, I'm going to go and signal all of these, and I might set up a couple of test trains to find out whether this system will work or not. And how that's going to work, I've actually got no idea. It's kind of one of these things where to fully implement it, I think I already need the cargo flow going. and then I'll bring in new trains to do the auto refit. The other option, of course, is we do just like we'll have hang on, let me use an example to explain this. So we have the coal mine up here. Let's say we had trains from here run down to Moningpool Falls terminal here, where they will also pick up coal from other trains that have brought coal in from around the area, and then only one service from each area will continue into Gardcity, and then that way it will unload, it will reload with the same cargo, so it will unload coal for other coal trains to then take out to other parts of the network. It will then reload coal that have been brought in from other parts of the network, and then it will bring that back here to Moningpool Falls, where another service will then take it to where it needs to be. So let's say there's something around here that accepts coal. I don't think we have power stations, which is a bit of a shame. I think that's something that actually... We've got petrol station, we don't have power station. That's a bit annoying. Let's see, coal. I mean, there's plenty of options still. Let's say a lime kiln. So there's a lime kiln somewhere on the coast here. That currently all our coal trains are avoiding, apart from one service that will start at Moningpool Falls. It will also take coal that's being delivered from around this area, as well as from other areas that are being brought in from Gardcity, and then it will then distribute that to the lime kiln. And if we have loads of other industries that need coal, I think that could work. It might need a bit more practice before it becomes perfect, but that's fine. That's what I'm going to use my free time to try and iron out all the creases in this plan. But anyway, that is it for this episode, guys. It's been another long one. I've been trying to make episodes shorter recently, but I've had so much to talk about, particularly in the last two, that the time just ticks by, and before you know it, it's an hour. If anyone has any questions or suggestions on how to improve this freight idea, as I say, I'm relatively new to this. I'm constantly experimenting with new ideas at the moment, and this is one of them. If there's anyone that's banging their head against the desk saying he's doing it wrong, please let me know. Please let me know. Tell me what's wrong about it, how I can make it better. Any tips and tricks would be really well appreciated right now, because obviously I want this to work. I feel we're at a stage now where the passenger network is working well enough that we can start throwing curveballs like freight trains into the mix, and then hopefully it will all work out. So this is Monday's episode, isn't it? Yeah. So then I can have a couple of days, say Tuesday, Wednesday, to read your feedback, and then Thursday, forgot the days of the week then, Thursday, I can then start recording the next episode, which is probably going to be to do with freight. But yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series. Drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.